Welcome to No Mentor. We've got hot takes, weird debates, and absolutely zero qualifications. With your host, Ser Judo
and Psychic. Let's get into it. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and leave a comment. You can hear us on all podcast platforms and socials at No Mentor Podcast. Let's get into it. Ser Judo.
Psychic.
The Donkey Zoo.
Yeah.
Let's do it, baby.
Let's go.
So,
What's up?
I got something for you.
What's that? You got a clue? A blues clue?
I think I have a blues clue, but maybe
Shoot.
it's more of a 1980s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle question. But let me
Teenage
see.
Mutant Ninja Turtles? Heroes in a hash. What is it? Heroes in a half shell? Is that
Heroes
it?
in a Half
Hard,
Shell. There
hard
we
shell?
go.
Is it hard shell or
Uh-huh.
half shell? What's
I
that?
don't know.
What's a half shell? Is it not full shelled?
Well, let me tell you, I used to have a turtle. For years, I had a turtle. And
Okay.
that thing was indestructible, dude.
Was
That
his
thing
name Franklin?
No, his name was Arnold, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was. I mean, you know what? Maybe
Well,
maybe I could buy a turtle.
a turtle.
I think that's a fucking great idea, man.
Because they're caged. Like if you don't clean that shit stinks.
I would have like a special. I know all about that. There were times when we didn't have a fucking pump.
Also, they're going to be judgmental because they're going to be eating lettuce and you're over there going to be eating McDonald's. And they're
Dude,
gonna be like,
I don't eat McDonald's. I'm fat, but I don't eat McDonald's.
okay, Hardee's then.
I don't eat
Carl's
Jr.
Jr. is what the Westerners call it.
Hardee's, whatever.
Del Taco.
I don't eat Del Taco. You know,
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's the only fast food joint I really eat, other than Mexican.
What do you eat then if you don't eat fast food? Like you eat the takeout?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
it's got to be a little healthier.
Do you have Chick-fil-A out there in the West?
I do. I don't
not a big thing.
Oh no, it's huge out here. Trust me, it's huge. But like,
I was gonna say, what's the most popular fast food chain out that way, like in the West? From what you've seen from Cali to Arizona,
fast food.
Is it In-N-Out?
I think it's In-N-Out if it's just those like coming from those two states. Yes, of course, McDonald's reigns over all of them, but as like a smaller, like single restaurant that only does like one, because you notice most of these restaurants now, they only focus on like one protein. Like you have In-N-Out with the burgers, you have Chick-fil-A and Cane's. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, but
I got
Five Guys is another one. Five Guys is another huge.
Big out there.
It's big. Yeah.
I like Five Guys.
Yeah, but I mean, all of these. The reason I go to Chinese,
Bonnie Blue likes Five Guys too. I heard.
and plus 900 plus 995 plus another 20 plus Adam 22 plus Lane of the Plug.
Yeah.
So
you got it right.
You know, I'm hoping I have something right because you know that's
what were you saying about fast food though? Like, so most popular is In-N-Out. I've heard In-N-Out's overrated, but I mean I've never tried it. I wish I could try it. Mail me some In-N-Out. Can you do express shipping?
I could put it in like a. I could put it in.
What's that?
I could do like a
space
freeze ice. Yes, like what is it?
Dry ice.
I could do like a dry ice and pack it up.
Here's the thing.
And then overnight it.
You send me In-N-Out, and I'll send you beer cheese. Deal,
dude. That's
a good deal, right?
But you'd have to send me like 5 fucking big ass things.
You want like a gallon of it or something?
Fucking if you can, dude. Like, is Halt's? Do you know if Halt's is still around? Because they had the best beer cheese ever. It's in Winchester.
Know. Okay. Is that?
I know it got flooded out years and years ago. I didn't know if they ever rebuilt.
That's like a chain, like a
no. Halt's on the river. It's in Winchester, or it was in Winchester.
I don't know. I think it might be done now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because I know it got flooded years ago.
Not very privy to Winchester. I don't know much about Winchester, honestly.
Yeah, but no, that's what I was thinking.
Ugh.
But I got a
Yeah,
question.
sure. What's up?
I've asked that a couple of times, but here we go. So,
Yeah, yeah,
is it
student.
is it
What's
better
your,
to be blissfully ignorant or have all the answers?
is it better to be blissfully ignorant or have all the answers?
The difference between being younger and happy
Yeah.
and stupid or older and wiser but more depressed.
Didn't Aerosmith write a song about that? Is it Jaded?
Yeah,
Is that
uh,
Aerosmith?
that no, that was Aerosmith. But that was like 2001 ish.
The
So he was
Jaded.
on that. They were on that pop thing. I'm more of a Dream On from the 70s. Bring on that
He's got
real
the
shit.
dude. That dude's got the widest mouth I've ever seen on a person.
Hey,
I remember watching. I remember watching Armageddon. That's his daughter, right?
oh yes,
Yeah. See
Liv
that.
Tyler.
Yeah, but I didn't believe it. I was like, "There's no way that
You
that wide
really?
mouth motherfucking person made this chick." Like he looks like the Canadians from South Park. Like he's got just that wide front. You know what I'm talking about? That he's got like the beady eyes and a wide mouth. He looks nuts, dude. He looks like something out of the Labyrinth or whatever that movie is.
Fuck, I love, but dude, that dude can hit. That dude can fucking
Hit a
sing,
note.
brother. He can hit a note.
But what were you saying though? Yeah,
No,
blissfully
is
ignorant.
it?
Let's
Do you think it? Just let's break it down. For instance, is
okay.
it better to be blissfully ignorant or have all the answers?
Ah, is it better to be blissfully? I, I don't know. That's what I ponder because, like, as a child, I was a dumbass,
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and I was happy though, right?
yeah,
Like,
we didn't know better.
I was like, yeah, I was just a dumb fucking kid.
So,
I
and
remember, dude. I remember as a kid, I was like, I wanted. I don't. It's not even I wanted to be cool. I just remember being a kid and like I remember watching movies as a kid and seeing like this. This is a true story. I'd watch movies as a kid and see like actors, like guy actors, like like teenage actors, like with like that Leo DiCaprio hairstyle that was like it kind of swayed to the side and stuff, and it was like parted in the middle and I wanted that so bad. So like I remember going in the bathroom and stealing my mom's hairspray, and I remember taking like a headband and putting it like at my temples and around my head and brushing it a certain way and using like all of her like hairspray to make my hair stay in that like Leo like look. And I remember getting on my bicycle and riding down the road because I had neighborhood kids that were my friends, and I remember like going up to them and they're like, "Man, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Your hair is just weird as fuck."
well, so on that note, one
Yeah,
day I'll show you pictures. But I loved wearing cowboy boots
yeah.
with my mullet, and this was when I was like 6.
You had a
I had
mullet.
oh dude, I had a mullet. I had fucking pierced ears. Now this is as a 6-year-old. I had a mullet, pierced ears. I
As
used to
oh
wear
god,
cowboy boots and
shit.
fucking overalls. That was my go-to. And then in the
And this is
rain,
prior to moving
this
to
was
Kentucky. This was the
1990.
funny thing.
This was like 1992, brother. This was
You
like
were
19
already. Your mother was already premeditating your
right,
Kentucky move.
seriously. But I had that look, dude, and I was just so fucking happy because my mom let me dress the way I
you,
wanted to.
you like
Now I
Eddie
wasn't going out.
Guerrero.
I wasn't like dressing. I didn't have. I wasn't wearing high heels outside or anything because
Right.
that was my look. Is I had the mullets. I
You got to
had.
send me pictures, by the
Yeah,
way.
I've got to. I'll find them. But yeah, that was one of my looks, and then
Yeah.
like because I gave zero fucks. I didn't need to know
Well,
anything.
most children give zero fucks
Yeah.
because they're not thinking about consequence or public opinion. I think that's the biggest thing is no one's thinking about public opinion. No one's really worried about their peers. I mean, once you get to a certain age, you are like a little bit out of elementary school when you get a little bit more self conscious and you're going through puberty and stuff. But like I guess this kind of relates to the question, right? You asked, is it better to be blissfully ignorant or have all the answers? What do you think about that? Like, what's your opinion on it? Like, even outside of
Yeah.
like being a
Just
child, just
yeah,
even
just
being
in
an adult,
general, as an
because like
adult.
I'll say this real quick and then I'll shut up because I'm just ranting. Like, and I'm not gonna call any names out, but I have friends that are pretty dumb, right? I'm not gonna say anything, and that's
Like,
kind of
no,
that's
real
shitty of me to that's shitty of
no,
me to say.
no.
But
Are
like,
they real
they're
quick on that question? Because I'd like
yeah,
to know this. Are
yeah.
they like just dumbasses, or are they intellectually challenged? Like they have a low IQ and just can't
They
understand.
they've actually self-deprecated and said, "Hey, I'm a dumbass. I know it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not even me like calling them fucking like
Just
stupid.
like
You know
how
what I
I
mean?
call myself a retard.
It's just like you can just tell when you're talking to somebody if they're like super
Low IQ?
methodical and like, and I'm not saying they're dumb in every
No, no,
aspect of
no, no, no,
life.
no,
They
not
might
at
be an
all.
idiot savant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But what I'm saying though is like I can just tell when I'm talking to somebody who's like way overly intelligent beyond my intelligence, and when I'm talking to somebody who is lesser intelligent than me, just because I can just tell by how they carry themselves. And maybe that's not even the thing. Maybe they just choose to be that way, and they're playing a character. I don't know. But either way, like I've noticed that some of those people are a little bit more happier than me, and it's because I overthink where they underthink. And I'm not. Maybe it's not an intelligence thing. Maybe they just choose to underthink, or maybe that's a personality trait that they have. Maybe they're not dumb per se.
Yeah. I would I would love to have that where I don't give a shit what people think. We could
Yeah,
say that all day long.
maybe
We
it's
could
an
s
attitude more
I
so than
yeah, maybe
intelligence.
yeah, like maybe because in reality there are people that are mentally challenged and
Yeah, but that's the thing that I was getting at though is like people with Down syndrome, they're
they're
like happy as
fucking
fuck. Like
happy. Yeah.
everything's a fucking adventure. They're jolly. They're like excited to
Yeah.
kick rocks. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Yeah. Well, yeah, like I mean, you know what? Going back to that, like when I'm going to hit the kid thing again, I
yeah,
remember fucking like playing with sticks and going on like in tunnels and shit. That
like
was fun.
stomping mud puddles
Stomping
and
in
shit.
water and shit like that. That was fun.
Yeah,
And then
like the
we
little
just
shit.
the little shit, and then we grow up, and then we just so getting
Like I
back
said,
to that
jaded,
question.
jaded. Yeah, like I think that's a real thing.
Yeah. So blissfully ignorant or having all the answers. Well, I think if you think you have all the answers, you're a douchebag. And being blissfully ignorant, being ignorant on purpose.
So my thing is like, is it better if you did have a choice in it? Is it better to choose to be blissfully ignorant or to always constantly seek answers and become wiser? Because you would think like, I need to learn this, I need to learn that, I need to be more wise to my surroundings, my anatomy, the society. But
I
within seeking all those answers, you find out there's very dark thing. Like think about it, man. When you were a child, and I'm not saying that you think about this now, but when you're a child, did you ever think of cancer? Did that ever come up in your head?
No, not one bit.
But now as an adult, is that not a scare that might happen one day? It could come from
Every
nowhere.
day. Every day.
So you see the difference, and it's because you have the knowledge that cancer is a real thing. But when you're a child, you're ignorant to that. You don't know. You're living day by day, minute by minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
So it's
think
like, and I'll shut up after this. Um, we are bred to be educated. We have a system in place. It's schooling, and schooling we're given answers to everything. Like our phone gives us everything we need to know at the drop of a dime. You know what I mean? So there's so many answers to have, but so yeah, that's my point. I guess I don't really have a point, but you know what I mean?
so. Yeah, with that, I'm thinking
Like I don't know.
I I like the idea of
That's what
learning
I'm
as
saying though,
much
is
as
like
I can.
yeah, but with that knowledge and that learning, how
I think it's
do you
worth it.
equip how do you think it's worth it?
I
Knowledge
think
is
it's
worth
worth it. I think knowledge is
power,
worth it.
right?
I think
Knowledge is
it's
power.
now. I honestly think that because without knowledge, your brain turns to mush. Now you
So
have
you think
to.
if you went your whole life blissfully ignorant that your brain would eventually cease?
Yes, I can tell you right now that I think clearly. I think more clearly. I act different when I read more. Like my
Yeah.
my mind has
You,
to
you're
be
on one.
learning
I get it.
something. You
You're
get that?
right because you're yeah. I can tell immediately when I listen to a comedy podcast. I feel a little bit more screwball and dumb, and I listen to an intellectual podcast, and I feel more articulate and more. I don't skip a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's so I think with that, I've always said that, well, when I was younger, like, I always wanted to I hated school until I actually had to
I
pay for it. I
I
hated high
hated
school. Like,
I hated school
I
back
hated high
in.
school.
Me too. Yeah,
I had great friends. I still have a great friendships with with a few of those guys, and I love they're my brothers.
it was
But
you're forced though. Like you're not. You
yes,
know, when you're
yeah,
younger and you're forced to do something, you
when
automatically hate it.
exactly. And once I went into school and I started paying for it, I started to do better, really well,
Well,
like
you kind of.
A's.
That's the thing, though. Once again, it's kind of a choice. You're not really
Exactly,
forced. You can quit when you want to quit.
exactly. And but that's also I wanted to learn more too.
Yeah, you're
So
more engaged.
more engaged, yeah. So do I just
So
and
you
I
think so you think like being a sponge and accepting all the knowledge you can is more beneficial than being
yes,
blissfully ignorant to a subject.
yes,
But let me ask you this then, since we're speaking of knowledge and exposure and all that. So do you think there's situations where like maybe certain information isn't beneficial? So like I'll give you an example. Um, how do I say this? Like looking at photos of homicide and seeing those images, can that hurt a person?
yes.
So it's like situations like that.
It's
Do you need
situational.
all that information? Do you need that knowledge? Do you need to see what a decapitated head looks like? Like things like that. You know what I mean?
As an
So
adult or as a child or either
adult,
or?
no, not a child at all.
Okay.
We're speaking of adults
As
and being
okay.
jaded as an adult.
Okay.
Like, do I stay blissfully ignorant to that subject, or do I go seek it because I'm curious? You
I
know what I
think
mean?
you go see it because you're curious,
And
because you want it.
and then I'll just adapt how I adapt, and it is what it
Exactly.
is.
Yes.
What if
That's
it
what I think.
depresses me and makes me sad, and I need medication after?
Then clearly you weren't in the right mind frame before that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I mean,
it was the key to the
that's
door.
that's why I'm
The
asking
door
about
was
where
there.
I understand. That's why I was asking you if you're talking about like being a teenager and thinking that way, or like an adult, because as an adult, you're more likely to have an understanding of right, right and wrong in that manner.
You think we naturally desire knowledge? It's like
Yes,
it's intuition to like
I
seek
think,
answers.
yeah, I personally do.
Obviously,
Yeah,
because religion is so huge.
and dude, I couldn't. That speaking of that one subject, religion, I find it
Yeah,
fascinating, but I feel like I'm too stupid to understand it. You know, like I
I
just
I don't know if it's you're too stupid because I would probably say the same thing. I think that it's so complicated to understand religion if we're speaking from Bible context, like New Old Testament, all that. I don't think you're stupid. I just think that it's wrote in a way that it's hard to understand.
yes, and
It's scripture.
yeah, yes, you're exact. Yeah, I get that point too.
So
I just
I think that that's a lot of it, but also like it's so hard to wrap your head around because it's so there's so much grandeur to it that it's like sitting down and watching. And I hate to compare it. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate, but it's like sitting down and binge watching all the Harry Potter movies from like 1 to 7 or whatever. I think there's
one
seven
to eight.
movies, right? 1 to 8, 1 to 8, just in one go. No like but watching that in like two times and binging it all and then try to write a summary about the whole series. You know what I'm saying? Like what? No
Yeah.
reserve, just straight through. You know what I mean? And like that makes no sense. But you know what
No,
I'm trying to
I
say?
get
It's like
exactly what you're saying.
it can become gibberish to a point if you're taking it all in right away. So
Yeah, and I think you're gonna forget about it.
and I think that's why I struggled so much as a kid with it because I'm a child, and this actually relates back to exactly what we're talking about. being blissfully ignorant. I was like sitting at a pew, just minding my business, eating my Cheerios and playing on my Game Boy Color. And I got a dude yelling up front, and I don't know what the heck's going on. I just know he's angry. You know what I mean? So like, I didn't have any knowledge. I was blissfully ignorant, so I was just enjoying Pokemon and Honey Nut Cheerios. You know what I mean? But as an
Yeah.
adult, like I can gauge what he's saying, and it's a lot of damnation and there's a lot of bad stories in the Bible. So you know what I'm saying? Like the difference in blissfully ignorant versus jaded as an adult. You know, I say
Um,
jaded. You say. I guess it's not really jaded to have knowledge. I think that's a choice probably if you let it
and
jade
I
you.
think it's situational as well.
Truth, yeah. And every
So
person's going to be affected by any affliction. So, whereas that knowledge might enlighten somebody, it might depress others, which is why I have a hard time with religion because I don't feel enlightened when I'm reading it. I actually feel depressed because it is so damning.
yeah,
So,
I wish I had the
feel the same way
motivation.
about politics.
Oh,
So,
and see, politics, dude, every day for me, brother. I find it fascinating.
you feel
It's
enlightened though, or does it? I guess not really politics. I guess I'm more saying the news, the like
I don't know.
C-SPAN, the
Like I don't
news,
know.
all that
I
shit
do
depresses
like
me.
so there's the nomination, the secretary confirmations are that have been the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I've been watching them. Like
Okay.
they're
This
usually
so
like 5 or 6 hours a pop.
you can help me on this because this is actually a time that I choose to be blissfully ignorant because it depresses me. But you can speak about it and I'll be fine, and others can speak about it. I'll get all that information when it comes in waves to me, but I don't go seek it. I actually do choose to be blissfully ignorant, which is probably what most Americans do, and probably why anybody who listens to this is going to hate me because I'm a
No,
piss poor American, I guess.
no. You just have a life,
I just don't want to be depressed every day with the
and
news.
that's why I my news comes from
It's
YouTube
it's
people.
it's like it's like the Beatles song "A Day in the Life," which is like probably my favorite Beatles song. But John Lennon's like, "I turn on the news today," and some how's it go? It's like I don't know, something like I turn on the news today. Oh boy, someone shot his head in a car. Oh boy, that's the lyric.
Yes, and that's news, but I'm talking there there's news now that doesn't necessarily
I I
like
wish you know
hit
how
like
we were
that.
talking.
You know what
You know how we
it's
were.
hard to explain. Like
You know
there's
how we were. Let me say this real quick. You know how
news
we were talking.
organizations now that are independent
That's what I more
that
so would like to seek. That
focus on stuff
actually
a little bit deeper.
like like well, for one, they're probably giving you accurate news instead of like um
I can't
media
hear you, buddy.
controlled like bullshit, right? Like brainwashing shit, right? Like one-sided candidate shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're out.
We're out. See you
Peace.
next time. Peace.